United States citizens are leaving the U.S. and going to other countries, whether it's Ghana, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Tokyo.
So why? Same reasons you and I complain about every day. Cost of living going through the roof, political chaos that never seems to end, and the fear of safety even when you're just going to the grocery store.
My husband and I finally made the difficult decision to leave the United States. It was not an easy decision, and it came from a lot of conversations.
Well, we're looking at leaving.
People are seeing the craziness and the chaos and the instability and the violence, and they're just leaving.
These are my last days in America as an American. I don't know when I can come back.
Americans are leaving this country in record numbers. And I'm not talking about vacation. I'm talking packing their bags, booking their flights, and leaving for good. In the first few months of 2025 alone, the amount of people that just said, "I'm done," and moved abroad doubled from the year before. That's not just a blip, okay? That's a wave. So why? Same reasons you and I complain about every day. Cost of living going through the roof, political chaos that never seems to end, and the fear of safety even when you're just going to the grocery store. But here's the thing, it's not just dreamers or millionaires doing it. It's normal people. It's people with families. It's young people, old people, retirees, people who are working remote. One common thread holding all of these people together is they just want a dignified life. That's why you're seeing places like Greece, Spain, France, Portugal. Their cafes are filling up with Americans who are just done. People love to scream, "If you don't like it, leave." Well, we are, thousands and thousands of us. We will be joining that wave soon. If you're curious about moving abroad, stick around, because we're about to embark on this journey ourselves, and we can't wait. At the end of the day, people like us just want to make life work. And if we think that we can do that better outside of this country, then who's to say we can't?
My husband and I finally made the difficult decision to leave the United States. It was not an easy decision, and it came from a lot of conversations. But we finally realized we're fighting to stay somewhere that not only is he unwanted, but we're fighting to stay in a place that's just falling apart more and more each day and becoming an unrecognizable place. My husband came here to study English and to be part of, everything the United States had to offer, which was a better life, the irony. Let me tell you a few things that I'm also forfeiting as a U.S. citizen that our country fights so hard to protect their interest. I am now forced to go live in another country just to preserve my marriage. This comes with leaving my family behind, leaving my law license behind that took me years and years to get. I'm not licensed, obviously, in another country, so I have to find an entirely new profession and start over entirely. Being a disabled veteran, someone who broke their back and both of their hips in the military, I am now forced to forfeit my personalized care plan that I have worked the last decade to develop with my physicians. I have medications that I take on a daily basis, and the VA does not ship them out of the country. This also just means that our kids will not really have a relationship with my family. How did we get to a place where the destruction, the waterfall of destruction is just so normalized? I can't stress enough how much I'm not trying to make this about me as much as I'm trying to shed light for those who truly don't get it yet. You should care that your fellow citizens are now being forced to leave the country to stay married. That's where we've gotten, and if that's okay with you, what the hell? To stand 10 toes down behind this administration and to support them at the expense of your fellow citizens should cause alarm bells. You should not be able to rationalize that. This is not as simple as some people are making it out to be. This will easily become a channel of watching us start over from scratch. I've got to find a new job in a country where I need to learn how to speak the fluent language and uproot everything I know. Just because I fell in love with an immigrant. Stay tuned for our journey and watch me pack up my entire house alone because I'm also robbed of any help in this process because my husband will be in ICE detention until the time that they drive him from the facility to the airport. Is America great? I have yet to see it.
Quitting my job and leaving the US was literally the best decision I have ever made. I think the old American dream that they sold us in the 50s, 60s, 70s is dead. The new American dream is peace and rest and financial stability. And a lot of times you can't get that with the house that they tell you got to get the house with the picket fence, white picket fence, whatever. A lot of times you can't get that. Financial stability means renting an apartment, then that's what it means. If peace means taking a break from America, then that's what it is. It's not really just like, oh, the American dream is no longer the American dream. It's the fact that you can barely breathe. Like, you really can't take time off work without worrying about bills. And then when you leave the house, you spend $100 minimum. And I feel like I did everything right. Excuse me, I just left the gym. I feel like I did everything right. Like, I went to school, got multiple degrees, got the house, got the car, you know, the American dream, got married. But I just wasn't happy. I just didn't want to participate in a life in America anymore. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to take a break in life.
We're looking at leaving. We're going to look at Canada and Portugal. Those are the two places we're looking. I can't even believe that I have to say this, but I am not going to sit and wait and hope that what we're seeing unfold doesn't actually happen. I'm not. I'm almost 60. What does that give me? Another 25, 30 years? I'm just keeping it real here. I don't want to live it like this. It's just not. No, I don't want to. And so do I want to leave my country? No. But my country kind of disappeared around 2015. And now it's unrecognizable to me. And so we're going to do a little research. We've got our Go stuff packed, all our documentation. We are going to check out Canada first. Probably come back here. Go check out Portugal. Come back here. Maybe Turkey. I'm not sure. It depends. Yeah, I mean, can you, it's like mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. I just had a conversation with my cousin who, I love her. I'm probably closer to her than anyone in my entire family except my sister, who's closest to me in age. And she's a Republican. And she has no idea about what's going on. She's not MAGA, but she's part of the GOP, and like, she doesn't know. I mentioned a few things to her, and she's like, I mean, it's just, and she is a brilliant woman, but she doesn't know. And it was funny because I started to feel, I was talking to her and I started to feel like I probably sound crazy to her. Like, I bet I sound like I'm making a bigger deal out of things than what they are. So I had to really explain in detail just a small, like, smudgeon of some of the things that are going on, specifically that would impact her personally. Yeah, I don't understand how people are unaware of what's happening, other than where they're getting their news from, if they're even getting news. I know there's a lot of people in the country right now that have just turned off their TV. They just turn off their TV. They don't want to know. That is very dangerous. That's incredibly dangerous, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, we're going to start looking. Crazy times. Crazy freaking times we're living in.
This is something we got to talk about. United States citizens are leaving the U.S. and going to other countries. Whether it's Ghana, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Tokyo, you're starting to see it more and more. This is not a drill. This is happening. And for whatever reason, people are pretty much giving up on the American dream for whatever reason. And what I've personally seen from the videos is everybody's happy. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to be. You want to be happy. You don't want to be somewhere where you're miserable, you're struggling, and it's just killing your vibe. But we really I think this is something we gotta start talking about. People will come to America because America was what they would say the American dream. And I think the American dream is now turned into the American nightmare. And when you look at these other countries, if you're cultured enough, you'll see that, man, the places are beautiful. They have the same thing, if not more. The prices split in half, probably less than split in half. And you get a lot more. But it's just weird. We have these politicians in place right now who are just really turning this shit into a third world country. Like when you have U.S. citizens that decide to say, you know what, fuck this place, I'm out. And just uproot their entire life and go to another country that they have no clue about, and they're taking the biggest risk. But when you look at them a year, 2 years later, they're extremely happy. You got a serious problem here on the U.S. soil. That's a real problem. Just something to think about. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Chris with the Gems.
So Americans, rich and poor, are packing their bags and leaving the United States of America. From the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year, Americans moving to other countries has increased by 90%. That's right, 90%. And so that's almost double where it was last year. And so, folks, people are seeing the craziness and the chaos and the instability and the violence, and they're just leaving. Folks, let me know why you think this is happening in the comments, and I'd love you guys to give me a follow. Thank you.
These are my last days in America. As an American, I don't know when I can come back. Hopefully it'll still be safe to cross the border and come back and get the boxes that I'm leaving with friends here and there. My partner got a job that's going to sponsor them for a work visa, and so they can come back and get our belongings. But we can't take them with us to the border right now because we have to not move. We can't move there, so we have to show up with nothing more than 2 suitcases. So my belongings are going to be 2 suitcases at the border, and everything else has to either be rehomed to friends, donated, or thrown away. I have 3 boxes left that I am putting with different friends in the hopes of being able to come back and get them, including all of my books, all my books and my art. And this process has just been one of tremendous loss. I am an artist, and I donated art supplies that I've been carrying around since I was a teenager. Just gone. And I am no longer somebody who does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I'm not going to be able to afford it once I leave. And I'm no longer a gun owner, which was an important way that I felt safe and empowered in this violent fucking country. And I'm losing all of the objects that meant so much to me. And I know that on one hand, they're just things, like all of the beautiful mason jars that I had my bulk goods in, they were so pretty, and I sold them all. Everything I own, I'm having to pick up and be like, okay, do I get rid of this? How long have I had it? What does it mean to me? How easy is it to replace? Is it expensive? Can I sell it? And the wild thing is that most of the time you cannot sell perfectly good things. You have to throw them away or give them away if you can. But I've already given away everything I can to my friends. People don't want it. People don't want it. It'll be like a 3/4 full bottle of perfectly good vinegar and nobody will take it. It'll be like a really nice set of clothing hangers and nobody wants it. We're just awash in shit and nobody wants it. So you have to throw it away or donate it. And I refuse to donate bad shit to these places because everybody does that. And so I'm just throwing things away. And it kills me. But I can't bring it with me. There's no time and there's no room. And I have to be able to get across the border with my cat and 2 suitcases and what I hope will look like junk in the back seat. I don't want to leave my country. I don't want to leave my friends and my nieces and nephews. This is the first Christmas we won't be together. They've taken that from us. It's just been the most brutal 2 months of my life. I have never been so stressed and so overwhelmed, and God, there's just so much still to do. And I feel like I'm living in this weird alternate reality where like my entire world is being stripped to parts and everybody else is just like, wait, you're moving that soon? I didn't realize that. I was like, I don't know what I fucking should have told you. I'm moving. I'm leaving. I'm fleeing the country because I don't know when things are gonna turn, like after the Charlie Kirk assassination, it was like a monster turned and had me in its eyes. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the moment. And from this moment, any other moment could be the kickoff to a genocide. And I know that because I've studied genocide and I know what it looks like. And I know how people talk about human beings and what they want to do. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to report my whole life and flee just to be safe. But I don't see anybody fighting for trans people here. All I see is fucking Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg like throwing trans people under the bus, and the Democratic establishment being like, what if we were also racist and terrible? What if we also admitted we had never liked trans people and always found them kind of icky? I saw this horrendous Pew Research survey on asking like non-trans people, cisgender people, how much they felt they had in common with trans people. And like straight cisgender people, okay, like they didn't feel like they had that much in common for the most part, and that's fine, It was the cisgender gays and lesbians who responded basically the same way as straight people did, that they don't have much in common with transgender people, that really just like has been haunting me ever since, because that means nobody sees us as family. Nobody sees us as like them. And so what we would rely on for protection are very abstract ideas of just generally like it's a good thing to protect human lives. And that's not enough, not in this day and age. I've thrown away so many things. So many things that mattered to me and represented who I am as a person and my history. And I know they're just things, but they're not. They're imbued with like memories of my parents and friends that I don't talk to anymore but still love. And all of the times that I went dancing in that pair of shoes, and you have to hope that there'll be something of you left on the other side. And I think it'll be better once we're gone, but I feel like I'm being flayed alive. Like, just losing so many things. And saying goodbye to people over and over again. So many people I love here. And that's just the emotional part and the stuff part. It's not even the bureaucracy. It's not even the paperwork and fear of not being able to stay longer. It's too much, but it has to be done, and it will. It will get done. But that's how I'm doing. Super fun becoming a refugee.
I had just made the executive decision that I will be permanently leaving the United States in less than a year and a half. Say what you will, but this is every reason I have of why I want to leave. Let's speed run this shit. Number one, if you're not making at least $150,000 a year or more, or at least have multiple streams of income, congratulations, you will be struggling for a very long time. Rent is incredibly expensive. It is almost impossible to buy a house. People cannot afford to rent an apartment or to live by themselves. Wages have been decreasing. Insurance is a scam. Healthcare and insurance has went up, and millions of American citizens no longer have healthcare. Many of the jobs online that you can apply to are fake. Hundreds of thousands of people are losing their jobs. Inflation keeps increasing, and all the administration has to do is blame Biden for it. Number two, racism is extremely belligerent all across the United States. Not just towards black people, but for other people of color who isn't a white Christian. Black people and other people of color are losing their rights, their equality, and their freedom. Asians, Hispanics, Arabs, Muslims, the list goes on. This country is incredibly hateful, spiteful, and the only thing they do is blame others for their downfall. Since the beginning of 2025, based on records, 7 black men has been found lynched. Still no justice for any of them to this day. White supremacists, Proud Boys, Nazis, they're out there marching, chanting out in public while our government, our president, and our law enforcement does nothing about it. Number 3, we are completely controlled by Israel and billionaires. We fall under an oligarchy. But hey, at least Elon Musk will become a trillionaire, right? Number 4, since the beginning of 2025, there has been 75 school shootings. 53 are dead, while 148 were injured. There has been 84 mass shootings, not including school shootings. The death count is still climbing to this day. Number 5, bombing and going to war with unnecessary countries. Iran, Venezuela, need I say more? Number 6, tariffs. They have done nothing but make the American citizens' lives harder. All it did was make everything more expensive. It was supposed to bring back jobs to the United States, but we're actively losing them. Number 7, our administration and the government has severely defunded the education system. Colleges, high schools, even Ivy Leagues has been severely defunded. So much so that they don't even have enough money to give out scholarships to the kids who rightfully deserve it. Number 8, tax breaks, not for the average American citizen, but for billionaires and anyone else who is making over $250,000 a year. Anyone else who falls under that bracket, congratulations, you're getting taxed more. And number 8, insurance company has the absolute right to decline you of any services if they don't feel like paying it to you. If you get cancer, break an arm, maybe get sick or something else happens, maybe a car accident, they can look at that shit and go, nah. Or better yet, they could just flat out cancel your insurance claim or your account. Number 9, maternity leave fucking sucks in the United States. The most you'll ever get, especially after you've gave birth, is maybe 2 months. Most likely less. Remember, you're a slave to the corporation. You don't actually have freedom. Pay time off, sick leave, just about. You get hardly any of that. And when you have accumulated at least 2 weeks of vacation time in the last 3 years alone, they will do everything they can to keep you from not taking it. What can I say? That's American corporations, right, America? Number 10, there are American celebrities and billionaires, including multiple people who hold a chair in the government affiliation and power, are human traffickers. Number 11, America doesn't have universal health care. That's a big one. So if you get sick, have cancer, break a leg, maybe get shot, guess what? It costs you an arm and a leg to get better. I still have like 10 more, but I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. America's the greatest country in the world.
I get asked all the time, why would you leave the USA to come to Africa? Or specifically Namibia, if it's a Namibian asking. I realize a lot of people don't know the experience of what a Black American looks like. But the first answer is, it's spiritual. This is the land that my ancestors are from. I am from African ancestry. And this is where I believe I belong. My ancestors came from here. They didn't come because they wanted to be in America. They came because they were taken as captives, prisoners of war. And that is a different thing than if they had decided, if my ancestors said, I love America, I love this land, I want to go there. Maybe that's a different thing. Maybe I'd have a different spirit about it. But at this point, I felt a deep spiritual call, and my husband as well. We felt a deep spiritual call to be in this land. And it was a spiritual call we could not deny for any conveniences that we might have had in the States. So we achieved the American dream in the States. We worked very hard. We both came from families that were hardworking people that had to work from the bottom to the, to get to college and to achieve our dreams. And then we were able to save up enough money to be able to make this move, which is expensive and risky. And it takes a lot of money to do that. But we achieved the American dream, and we took our American dream dollars and brought them to Africa to reinvest here. And that means a lot to us. And again, that's a very spiritual thing to do. And for those who don't really understand what it meant to be a Black American, I mean, it's very tough to tell that story in a TikTok. But America in and of itself is not the place it's propagandized to be. It's a place with a lot of challenges and problems. There's a lot of poverty in America. People in America are poor. They live on the concrete on the street, and it's illegal to live on the street. So they can be arrested for sleeping on the street. There are a lot of shootings and things like that. There's a lot of death that we witness to the point that we're desensitized to it. I remember taking my husband to my hometown, and we went to go visit my aunt. And across the street from my aunt, there was a clear crime scene. And I asked my aunt what happened. She's like, "Hey, baby, I'm so glad to see you guys. But good to see you too. But what happened across the street?" She said, "Oh, I think a little kid was killed. But I got some food for you." And I'm like, "Okay." We just kind of had to ignore it. And the whole time we're looking at each other like, there was a murder across the street. They're still sweeping it up. And she's just like, "Oh, yeah, it's fine. I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen you in years. I miss you." And I'm like, okay, this is America. This is what it looks like. I mean, it's all of the above. It's wealth, and it's extreme poverty, and it's murder. I remember going, I was hosting an event, and that morning I had to run. I was trying to rush to go get some sodas and stuff from Walmart, and there had been these news stories about this Walmart shooter. And I remember seeing the stories, but I was like, I still got to go to the grocery store. So I got up that morning to go to Walmart. And then I'm behind this car, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm so mad because I'm rushing. The police are pulling somebody over, and there's so many police I can't even get around it or something or anything. And then it turns out they open the trunk, and there's a bunch of big guns in the back of the car. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm behind the Walmart shooter on the way to Walmart. We were both on the way to the same store at the same time. Oh my gosh. That's life in America. That was life in Colorado, the birthplace of school shootings. And again, America has both of the things. It has beautiful things. It has places that are as beautiful as this, what I'm in right now. And it has places as dark as what you would think hell might look like. They literally have places named after hell in America. Rightly so, because they're dark places. So it goes it goes every direction in that country. So there's no one America. There's no one American experience. There's really no one Black American experience. So I say all that to just say, what you believe America is may not be accurate, and that is part of the reason people can't even believe why anybody would want to leave. Why would you want to leave the USA? It's got to be the best place ever, and it's not necessarily the best place ever. And then people that don't know about Africa will say, why would you go to Africa? It's not a great place. Like, why? It's in poverty. It's a third world country. And I'm like, Africa has many countries. And it's not a third world continent. And even the third world has some amazing features and beauty and beautiful people and culture. And being third world, which is a very old concept, just means not like what you knew, not industrialized the way you knew it. Poverty exists just like it is in America. I have fed people on the street in America. I have seen starving children in America. And so I know that it exists in both places. So, I'm not trying to minimize anything. I'm just trying to remind people that haven't been to Africa that there are many, many parts of Africa. There are many, many experiences in Africa, just like in the States. So just like in the States, you can be in poverty in the United States, have very little, live in a dilapidated house. You can in Africa live in poverty in a dilapidated house and scrimp and scrounge for food. You can also be very wealthy and live in a giant house and have an abundance of everything that you'd ever want living in Africa, and for a lot cheaper than you can get it in America. Just saying, you know. So the experiences that we're talking about, there's diverse experiences everywhere. So don't discount, the experience of a person and what guides and leads them. I'm guided by spirit. And so my guidance is in here. And my guidance tells me this is the place I need to be. This is my home. And I'm happy to be home.